Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning. Here we are, TGIF. It's Friday. Thank God for that. That's where we are right now. It's the end of the week and we're headed for the weekend. And we are here together once again, gathered around the breakfast table and just communicating with each other. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and thank you so much for being along with us. We're going to be here for a whole full hour, and of course, a lot of conversation and a lot of great things to talk about. Of course, you're going to get involved in it too. For those of you who have been around with us, we want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. This is our first show of the 2024 year. And we're so glad to have you back. And I hope that you had a wonderful year, but we can talk more about those great New Year's and those pleasantries that you all had the past few days. But anyway, we're going to get into the show. And for those of you who are new, let me tell you how it goes. And if you're new, hey, Happy New Year to you too. It's your first time here. Well, we get together each week. I host the show, of course, and as host of the show, I am going to bring out conversation and just keep things rolling, get things rolling. In the meantime, you can involve yourself in the show as well. All you have to do is use your keyboard and your fingers. Let them do the walking right there. Type whatever you want to talk about. I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. And that's why we get together and talk each week to each other. And you'll have friends that may be coming in. You can talk to the people that come in as well. And anything that you want to talk about, it doesn't matter. You know, even if you just want to say hi, that's good too. And we would love to hear from you. We would love to communicate with you. But the important thing is that when you communicate with us, we would like you to just relax and be part of the show as well. And just, you know, type in whatever you want to say. And you can talk about anything you want to talk about. If there's a conversation that you want to bring out, something in specific, of course, let us know and we'll see you right there. We'll try to entertain it. It's all free exchange and ideas of opinions. And that's why we call it the Coffee Hour and get it together. Now, a lot of you are watching from different places. We're all over the world. No matter where you go, no matter what nation you're in, we're all over it. All you have to do is be in an area where there's great hotspot and a wonderful Wi-Fi, and it's no problem right there. You can get in touch with us. We had a lot of people, a couple of people yesterday when we were on Talk Back Live. We had a couple of people from Hawaii, Las Vegas, and a lot of other places. They come around from Japan. That's where we come to. We come all over the place. So anywhere you are, you could watch us. Tell your friends about us. Now, those of you who are watching us for the first time, understand something too. We come on 3 different places. We're live on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and any 3 of those are great for you. Whichever you choose, it's great. And for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, take the time right now to tag your friends. And that's not a new thing because I ask you to do that too. The reason why I ask you to do that, because the more the merrier. We want to consume more people on this show. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll probably come back again and again. When you tag them, they'll see that notification is coming from you. And I suppose they would trust you, and they'll click onto that tag, and it instantly brings them right to us where we are right now. So do that right now for me. That would be great. And if you're watching us on YouTube, as I always do, I like to remind you and encourage you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You're right there right now. You can do it right now. All you have to do is drag your mouse over to where it says subscribe. That little arrow's pointed there. Click onto it, and that's all it takes. But there's no money involved. Just in case you want to ask, I'll stop you right there. You don't need any kind of notification from anyone. And of course, you don't need a note from your parents either, unless, of course, you're under 18. But we're a family show. So if you're under 18, of course, have your family with us as well. Anyway, that's how it goes. And we thank you so much for being along with us. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, don't worry about a thing. You don't have to do anything. The only thing that I ask you to do is just keep telling everyone that you know about the show and get them involved in the show as well. And you can get involved as well. And just because you're there on another place as opposed to YouTube and Facebook. You can still communicate to me. You can still type in and I'll still see you right there as well. So that's how it goes. We are going to do a few things today as we get along, and hopefully that you'll get a chance to talk to us. We're going to have sports that's coming up pretty soon. Brian Camp usually does the sports update, but he won't be here today, so we're going to fill in for him because he left information for us. And then we're going to relay the sports news to you via him giving us the sports, and we're just going to convey it to you later on. So that's what's happening, and that's coming up not too far away in the show. Also in the show, later on, as we go along, we are going to give you those movies. Now, I like to collect all of those movies, my picks of the week, to make sure that you guys have a great weekend. For those of you who like to watch movies and want to catch up on movies on the weekend, well, I have some movies that I think you'll like. I'm going to add on to your list on what to watch this weekend in conjunction of what you already have there. And so all of that's coming up and a lot of other things. So get together, sit back, tighten your seatbelts. It's going to be a ride. And as I said, it's going to be for a whole full hour each week. Now, we're coming from different parts of the world, so your time zone may be different. Look at your clocks and you see what your clock says. That's what time we come on in your area each week. So come along and enjoy us and have a good time. We want to say hello to all of you guys who have popped in, just like Warren. He just popped in from North Carolina, out there from Greensboro, North Carolina. So we thank you and good morning to you. He's got sunny skies out there. I can tell because he got 2 sunny emojis out there. And for those of you who are going to chime in conversation, we want to ask you to do the same thing too. You know, come in and give us your weather report. Doesn't have to be full blown. It just could be something, a summary of something, just to give us an idea what it's like in your weather section of wherever you are, because I like to compare notes. And for those of you who are living in the vicinity of New York City, somewhere in there, don't have to worry about that. I will take care of that shortly. That weather forecast belongs to me, so I'll take care of that for you. So, hey, listen, you guys dodged a bullet over here in New York. But for the rest of you, well, give us a little summary. You're not required to do it. It's not a core required to do. We won't kick you out of here because you don't. It's just something that we ask to do, and you know, if you won't, but we hope that you do, and we hope that you do join us in conversation as well. And I see Brian in there. Brian is not going to be on the show, but I see him out on the line right now. He's in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's got 37 degrees out there right now. It's going to go up to 47 degrees. So that's kind of cool out there for Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't think there's no picnics or barbecues or anything. Well, I don't know. I take that back. Brian says he cooks in all kinds of weather. It doesn't matter. 47 degrees will be the high there with sunny skies. And Saturday, 100% chance of rain and thunderstorms and power outages and the whole 9 yards expected in Charlotte, North Carolina. But a lot of you own houses out there, and I would assume that if there's a power outage in your area somewhere, you have a generator at your home that when that happens, your lights will go back on. Hopefully that's the case. You know, most people, when they own houses, they have those generators, and they live in different areas where there are a lot of storms and subject to power outages. You know, they have their generators. It's going to be 30 degrees and sunny skies in Greensboro, North Carolina, too. So it's good weather out there. Now, for us here in New York City, I'm going to tell you about that in just a few minutes. But I can tell you this, they're expecting some winter advisory out here. So we're going to get some snow and rain, but we'll tell you more about that later. Okay, and remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other social media outlet, Zoom, or broadcast publications. So with that being said, let's do what we always do, raise our cups, our glasses, and let's celebrate a Friday once again. It comes pretty fast. So excuse me while I shoot up. Oh boy. We hope you had a wonderful holiday. It's all over now, and we just want to welcome you to the light welcome you into the light of 2024. Now, I know a lot of things are going to be happening this year. We want to try to make it as positive as possible, but we know that we have some tough times ahead of us, and we're going to overcome it. We're going to get through this year just like we got into 2023. We're going to get right through it, and because who's the boss? We're the boss. We take care. We call the shots, right? And you call your own shots, and it's just like someone comes into your house. You run the show, right? And so as far as all of the things that are going to be happening, and we're not looking forward to these negative things, but they're coming like it or not, and we just have to be prepared for it, and we will get through all of this. But in the meantime, we talk about positive things like resolutions. People make a lot of resolutions and things like that. I don't know. Do you make yours? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good at it. I never keep them, but I can tell you this. The goal is to be a better person for this new year. Be a better person. Be better than you were last year. And you could have been a good person. You could have been a great person last year, but you want to go better than that. Each year you want to get better and better. We've got a lot of things to talk about too, as I told you before. And I also want to tell you that a lot of you are back now, right? A lot of you commuted back to from wherever you were. You're back on the job. You're back to normal life. And of course, you're healthy, you're strong. And speaking of healthy and strong, I always have to promote what I have to promote. Now, before I say this, do you realize that the variant has gotten stronger? I just heard this not too long ago. The variant that's upon us right now, the COVID variant, it's gotten much stronger. Now, it's gotten to the point that whether or not you're immune, whether you're up on your shots or whatever it is, it can get you. The good news is that you can overcome it all if you're boosted, if you're regularly boosted, right? But they say this variant is coming in. A lot of people are getting sick now. So if you're going out in these close quarters publicly, these really close, tight places, you might want to consider wearing a mask. Although there's no mandation right now on them wherever you are, but it's also good. I see a lot of people, traveling every day, all day, whether it's on the subway or the bus or wherever close quarters are, a lot of people are continuing to wear their mask, and I am not angry at them at all. They want to take care of themselves, and that's a good thing. A lot of people are not, but just even if you don't want to wear them, at least have it in your pocket. Take it with you in case you might need it, because they may, let's say, for instance, if you go into the doctor's office at this particular point in time, you go to the doctor's office, the doctor may say, okay, this variant got a little bit stronger, so we're going to ask you to wear your mask. And in some cases, they may have supplies for you. And so you want to be prepared for that. So you want to have your mask with you wherever you go, like maybe the dentist or your regular doctor's office or your specialist or whatever, have it with you. Just have it with you. Have it in your bag, have it in your pocket, just in case you might need it, right? So anyway, that's where we are right now, and we're going to get with the weather forecast. Now, those of you, as I said, if you're going to join in the conversation, I want to ask you politely, please, with a cherry on top, if you give us your weather forecast, that would be a great thing. We would love to hear that, and we would love to compare notes, because that's how we do it. As they say, that's how we roll. We want to do that just like that. So right now, what we have here in New York City, we have 31 degrees. That's what we have presently. There's a big chill in the air. I was out there early this morning on my way to the gym, and I do that, early in the morning. Get my day started early in the morning. Go out to the gym and exercise and get in good shape, and it gives you a good attitude and and a lot of energy to boot. So I did that. But it is cold out there here in New York City. And so we're waiting. They're telling us there's a storm up ahead, but this is how it goes right now. This is what we have for starters. It's nice outside right now, even though it's cold. It's going to be sunny. We'll have a high around 38 degrees. Winds will be west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy skies. We'll have a low 29 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. And as we Go over to the next day, Saturday. This is when it gets a little tougher for you. We got cloudy skies early, followed by a slight chance. Well, not like a slight chance, but it's going to be like light rain and snow developing in the afternoon. You see, so that's where it comes. And we'll have a high around 38 degrees. Winds will be east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation will be 90%. So that's when it all starts. It's a storm. Now, I know that here in New York, we may not get the bulk of the snow like a lot of people on the outer boroughs, like maybe on Long Island or something like that. They may get snow and it may stick to the ground. But what happens to us, we may get like nothing but slush, which is, I don't know, which is even worse, having the snow stick to the ground or walking in slush. I know that, I guess that's a choice you have to make for yourself. Actually, you can't make it because whatever the weather is going to be, right? Okay, for Saturday night, we've got a steady rain developing early, tapering off the showers and becoming mixed with snow late. And we'll have a low near 35 degrees, and winds will be northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 100%. So we boost the precipitation from 90% to 100%. So it gets a little worse. And here's what it's like on Sunday. Get ready for it as we wrap up our weekend. You know, we wrap it all up and get back to work. I think this is like maybe the worst of them all here. And then maybe not, depending on how you look at it. It's going to be, we're going to watch for some potential winter storms. Yeah, it sounds like a crazy thing, right? Rain and snow in the morning, then remaining overcast in the afternoon. Temps will be nearly steady to the mid to upper 30s, and winds will be north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation goes down to 60%. All right, so which is worse, Saturday or Sunday? I don't know. But when we reach Monday, the sun will be back out, so we'll get through it. But we've gotten to everything. And repeating our current temperature right now, we've got 31 degrees. It's still chilly outside. So, you know, if you're going to do anything, you're living in New York City, if you're going to do anything, if you have to grab your food or anything, you know, you might want to do that today. You might want to get that out today, because when Saturday comes around, I don't think you want to go out there, you know, and you want to sit home and relax and watch movies or play video games with your children or whatever it is. You know, you want to be in a quarter, and it's safer there too, right? When you're at home, it's much safer too as well. So that's the weather forecast. So give us your weather forecast. Good morning, Debbie. How are you today? Debbie Kirkland out there watching us on Facebook. And as I said, Brian is out there too, keeping tabs on what's going on today. And Warren from Greensboro, North Carolina, thank you so much. And so we've covered all of that for you. So stay along with us, and let's see if we can keep things rocking right around here. We got sports coming up. We told you about that already. And of course, the weather forecast is looking good. Now, those of you who have made your travels from wherever you were having New Year's, I hope it was a safe one for you. And I hope that your New Year holiday, your Christmas holiday, a lot of you guys did the Christmas thing, right? And depending, you know, some people, you know, they had the luxury of taking the whole holiday in one lump sum. In other words, when the Christmas holiday came around, they went away and just stayed there until it was trying to back home, until the journey was back home after New Year, so they can get back in time for work. And then others, you know, it was like they breaking it up. Some people spent their time doing local things for wherever they were, maybe visiting families or friends. But we hope that you had a wonderful one. And let's try to make this holiday, this new year, I should say, a better year than the previous year. Now, we didn't really have a bad year, depending on the circumstances. Even with the circumstances, I'm pretty sure you don't let it bother you, because personally, you want to make sure that your year is coming out good. You know, you want to make sure that you know, everything is totally positive on your end, because we know we go through a lot of aggravating sources. That's granted. And sometimes when you turn on the news, you think, you know, wow, you know, tired of hearing about this. I don't want to watch the news anymore. I got to the point where I don't watch the news on the weekends, period. Not on the weekends, maybe during the week. But the weekends, you want to sit back and relax. And I think that's good therapy too. You want to get away from the negatives a while. You're not going to escape it, period. We know that. It's all around us. It's right in our faces every day. So you're not going to escape it. But you do the best you can. You do the best you can. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, excuse me while I shoot up. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, Brian, as I said, he's there watching, keeping tabs on everything. He's not here for sports, but he had the liberty of supplying us with the sports for today. So we're gonna read off what we have here that he supplied us with. First of all, NCAA football now this Sunday. This Sunday, you get to watch, if you're into the college games, you get to watch #1 Michigan versus #2 Washington. And you can watch that on ESPN, and that comes on 7:30 Eastern and right there on ESPN. So, and there's a lot of other great sports that you can watch too. It's all over the place. We got a lot of good sports coming along. Washington Wizards forward Kyle Kuzma is giving back to incarcerated women in his hometown in Flint, Michigan, was recognized by the NBA. Each month, the NBA awards a player for their outstanding work in the community. And Kuzma was named the winner of the award as he hosted an event that came on November 26th through his Kyle Kuzma Family Foundation, in which it announced they'll be aiding incarcerated mothers and the Nisi, a community, a county in Michigan jail. And by the way, they're beginning to process for them to come along to re-enter society. The foundation is donating gifts and clothing to the mothers and their children. On this day, January 5th, 1927, Major League Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Landis begins a 3-day public hearing on changes or charges that 4 games played, that's Chicago and Detroit, in the year of 1917. Those games were thrown. In 1957, Jackie Robinson retires rather than be traded to the Giants. In 1971, the body of former boxer Sonny Liston was found by his wife in Las Vegas. Estimate of 6 days. Foul play was suspected. In 1971, the Harlem Globetrotters lose 100-99, and that ends their 2,495th game winning streak. In 1989, Major League Baseball signs $400 million with ESPN, showing 175 games in 1990. In 1993, Reggie Jackson, the Major League Baseball player, was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. In 1996, Miami Dolphin NFL coach Don Shula announces his retirement. In 2007, Bill Cowher signs as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Birthdays on this day: in 1932, Chuck Noll, NFL coach, born in Cleveland, Ohio. In 1938, Jim Otto of the Oakland Raiders was born in Wausau, Wisconsin. In 1947, Mercury Morris, NFL running back, was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in other sports news, David Perron scored the tying and go-ahead goals in the third period, including the winner, 1:30 left, and the Detroit Red Wings beat San Jose 5-3 on Tuesday night to push the Sharks' losing streak to 9 games. Daniel Sprong and JT Compher also scored for Detroit. And Lucas Raymond had the 3 assists. And Michael, if I can get this right, Rasmus, all right, added an empty net goal with 6 seconds remaining in that game. And Alex Lyons stopped 24 shots. Yes, he did. Terry Rosa scored 14 of his 34 points in the fourth quarter after missing a game or a few games due to illness. And the Charlotte Hornets beat the Sacramento Kings 111 to 104 on Tuesday night to stop an 11-game losing streak. Rosa added 6 assists, and Charlotte outscored Sacramento 36 to 26 in the final period, finishing the game on a 10-0 run. Now, a loss didn't bother Naomi, let me see how I pronounce it. Naomi Osaka. And Naomi Osaka at the Brisbane International, as much as the missed opportunity for the matches ahead of the Australian Open. The 4-time major winner's first tournament since becoming a mother ended in a 3-6, 7-6, and 6-4 second round loss on Wednesday to the 3-time Brisbane International champion, Carolina. That's her name, Carolina Pliskova. And looking at the NFL, Brock, I think it's, yeah, Brock, Brock, there it is. That's spelled wrong. There's a typo there. Okay. Brock Browser is headed for the NFL. The Georgia tight end announced Tuesday that he was entering the 2024 NFL draft. Browser did not play in the Georgia's 63-3 destruction of Florida State and the Orange Bowl. Browser's announcement came after Georgia offensive tackle Amos Mims declared for the draft. And that's it in sports. That's what we have in sports. And thank you so much for Brian for adding that to us, to our list. And of course, Brian will be back with us live not in the studio, but from his location to our location on our show that we have on Thursday night, which is called Talk Back Live. And we hope that you enjoy it too, but we'll tell you more about that later. If you're just joining us, it's 27 minutes past the hour where we are right now. And it's all over the world. As I said, you can join us, and we hope that you will. And again, we want you to tell your friends about it. Now, all of you guys, please keep adding on to your friends. You know, if you're on Facebook, you can do this right now, and we urge you to do it because we want to generate more people here. Just keep tagging them. You can tag the show to them. How do you do it? I don't know. No, I do know. But you know, and all you have to do is do that. Now, when you tag them, they will see that information coming from you. They'll see your name there. They'll say, okay, I know him. I am going to click onto that, and it'll bring them right here. And when they come in, they'll see me, they'll see you, they'll see Debbie, they'll see Brian, they'll see Warren, and everybody else that comes in. And again, you know, it doesn't hurt. And it doesn't hurt to also subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you go on the YouTube channel, if you're right there right now watching, of course, what we need you to do is just take your little mouse and move it over there and take that little arrow, point it right there where it says subscribe, and click onto it. And by golly, gosh, oh gee, by golly. When that happens, you're already in. And the reason why we want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll tell you why, is because it'll give you a chance to know whenever we come on live, you'll get a notification. Instant notification will pop up. And even if we so much as post a video of some sort, and you're online, we're doing whatever you're doing, you see that little icon pops up, says, it's live on the air, Talk Back Live, or the coffee hour. It's right there. And you get a chance to know that. And because a lot of people forget, right? They forget about it. And we don't want you to forget about it. So that's why we want you to subscribe to us. And then, you know, when you tell your friends too to do the same thing when they get on, subscribe to it. Now, these guys are watching us on Instagram. Don't have to worry about it. Don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just keep passing the word on to your friends. And of course, they'll get the idea and they'll come along, and hopefully they'll get to come along and enjoy the show just like you, and for the rest of you. So there you go. And we've got it all under control right here. And so we want to say hi. More people are coming in. I see more people popping up on Instagram as well. So we wanted to say hi to you guys too. And again, if you come in, please give us your weather forecast for today to see what we got. I already gave you mine, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a splendid kind of weather that we're going to be having. They said a storm comes over, but we're not going to get that bulk of the storm. According to the weather forecast that I read, we're not going to get all of that snow that they thought they were going to be getting. You know how you turn on the TV and sometimes the anchors or the meteorologists, they make it sound worse than what it really is. And so you'd think, okay, now I'm going to have to go out and get shovels and salt and sprinkle the salt in my driveway so no one slips and hurt themselves, so I don't get sued or anything like that. They talked about some of the sanitation trucks busting out, getting all salted up and getting ready to spread out. But it doesn't look that way. But then again, something, I've seen worse things happen. Mother Nature has an opportunity sometimes to get you under control and then drops the bomb on you, right? So we never know, but they're gonna be ready. New York is always ready for situations like this. So I hope that you're ready, and I hope maybe wherever you are, it's even better out there. The sun is out where you are. We've got the sunshine out right now, but maybe where you are is much better than where we are. But poor Brian and Warren, they got those cold temperatures out there, which they're not used to, because we sent it over to them. Sorry. Sometimes he sends us weather and then we send ours over to him. So anyway, that's what it is. So we would like to continue with the show and find out more, if you can give us more information about what your weather is all about. So we're going to keep things rolling. I didn't mention this. I mentioned this last night on the show on Talkback Live, that and you heard about it already. They had an earthquake out there in Japan, right? You heard about that, right? Had an earthquake out in Japan, and not only was there an earthquake, but they had at the airport, their local airport over there, they had a collision of two planes, that engulfed and burst in flames. And I think there was an aircraft. I think there was a crash, and then two collided or something like that. But it was a disaster over there. And I contacted one of my friends in Japan to find out if they were okay. Find out him and his wife are doing okay. But he was telling me about the earthquake. It was just shaking his house, and he thought it was the big one because they did have a big earthquake at one time. I remember before. And so he's doing fine. Unfortunately, there are some people that lost their worldly possessions and also lost their homes or damaged their homes. Maybe not lose it altogether, but damage their homes. So they have to be prepared and repair and restructure and do everything else over and over again. That's one of the things about earthquakes when you get the big one. And because we know that, when you talk about earthquakes, you always equate earthquakes with California. Now, in California, there are earthquake friendly over there. I don't mean that in a sense of, oh, yeah, they look forward to it. No, what I mean by that is that their infrastructure over there is up to date for that and prepared for that. Like the bridges and the buildings, right? Whenever there's an earthquake, it kind of rocks the building and the bridges, but they're all stable, so they're prepared for it, And when you mention an earthquake in California, it's like, to them, it's like, what's the big deal, But but speaking of earthquakes too, we had one in New York too. It hasn't been said a lot. We had one just the same day that happened in Japan. It happened at just before 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning. Of course, it's morning. Happened before 6 a.m. And those of you who visit New York or live in New York and familiar with New York, then you're familiar with Roosevelt Island, because that's where it happened. A lot of people, the grounds opened up over there. I think they had to repair the ground over there, but whatever it was. But I was told it was felt in New York City too. Now, I didn't feel anything. Now, that time in the morning, I don't know where I was. Maybe I'm usually up at 5 a.m. That's usually when I start my day. But maybe it didn't hit or shake in my area, but they told me there were certain parts of Manhattan that felt the vibration of the earthquake. So, you know, we had one before. We had one twice before that I can remember. Had one just a few years ago, and that was felt, and that came out of Washington, D.C., but it was felt here in New York as well. And I noticed like the ground started, shaking, and, in your house, I was on my computer when it happened, and my computer station was rocking, and I said, oh, gee, and I didn't know what it was. And I didn't even think about an earthquake, because we very rarely get an earthquake here in New York. It's very rare, and when it does, it only lasts for about a couple of seconds or so, maybe no more than a minute, but the other places where they're earthquake prone, like in Los Angeles, California, all of California, and in Hawaii as well, in Italy, they get big ones out there. But the earthquake that occurred in New York, no one was hurt. Everybody was safe. And so we're going to continue our open prayers for our friends in Japan, and hopefully they can all get back to normal. I don't know what the death toll was, because remember, I told you about the airport collision with the planes and all of that smoke engulfed and fires and all of that happened. It was a big mess. I saw that on the news. It was a disturbing video to watch. Very, very disturbing. Okay, just joining us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And of course, the Coffee Hour brings you information. And of course, we get you involved into it as well. If you'd like to get involved to it, please feel free to do that. And if there's anything that you want to talk about in particular, we're always open-minded to you. We're always open-minded. Now, also, too, a lot of people, they don't want to get involved in conversation, but that's okay, too. I think the most important thing is that you're out there with us now. Some people may be at work right now, and you may be on that coffee break. Do they still have coffee breaks in corporate life? I don't know. It's just like everything is taken away from everyone. It's like even when you ride the airplanes, you don't even get peanuts anymore. You ever notice that? You remember a long time ago when you used to take a travel, you don't even get peanuts anymore. They don't give you peanuts anymore. At least some of the airlines I fly. Maybe JetBlue does still. I don't know. But you don't get peanuts anymore. I remember when they used to give you like bologna sandwiches. I remember that. And they stopped that, and now they stopped giving peanuts. And then I don't know if they serve drinks anymore, alcoholic beverages, which I think what they should do is ban alcoholic beverages from flights. I think they should. I really think they should. It's enough that you have bars in the airport, which, by the way, costs you like $20 a pop, even for a drink. But I think they should ban alcoholic beverages from the flights. I really do. With everything that goes on, people getting crazy and doing all kinds of crazy activities, and the alcohol takes over, and it's a whole mess. Anyway, we're coming along right now, and we've got a lot of things that we want to talk about in the entertainment field, in the entertainment world today. Okay, in the entertainment world, Maurice Hines, the Broadway dancer, choreographer, and actor who famously showcased his skills alongside his late younger brother, Gregory Hines, in a Nicholas Brothers-like kind of act featured in Francis Ford Coppola's The Cotton Club has died. Hines died last Friday of natural causes at the Actors Fun Home in Englewood, New Jersey. He was 80 years old. Les McCann, a prolific and influential musician and recording artist who helped found soul jazz, has died as well. McCann died last Friday in Los Angeles, a week after being hospitalized with pneumonia. He was 88 years old. Shecky Green, the legendary Las Vegas headliner and stand-up comedian who entertained audience for years while battling demons that included stage fright, alcoholism, prescription drug abuses, and gambling. He died Sunday, and Green died on New Year's Eve of natural causes at his home in Las Vegas. He was 97 years old. The start of the 2024 means the Olympics is here, is coming in. The Olympics officially arrived with the Paris Summer Games starting July 26th. It also means Snoop Dogg. He's back. Snoop Dogg is back at the Olympic as the Olympic commentator, and he's going to be on NBC Universal. They announced Sunday that the rapper and the entertainer will provide regular updates and speak with host Mike Tirico doing the primetime coverage throughout the games for the NBC and NBC Peacock. And Wonka, you heard about Wonka. Wonka, a musical fantasy that has been the biggest hit of the holiday season, topped the box office on New Year's Eve, closing 2023 on a sweet note. If you like chocolate, you like this movie. The film, which stars Timothy Clement, I believe his name is, as a more useful Willy Wonka, grossed $22.7 million for the weekend, and the project $29.5 million, projected $29.5 million for the four-day holiday. And that brings the domestic gross up to $140.2 million, a strong result of the $125 million project. And that's it for entertainment. And birthdays. Oh, I've got a lot of birthdays today. Singer Marilyn Manson, rock singer Marilyn Manson, 55 years old today. Actress Pamela Sue Martin is 71 years old. Actor Ted Lang from The Love Boat. Yeah, you know who he is, right? Yeah. And he's 76 today. And actress Diane Keaton is 78. TV host Charlie Rose is 82. Actor Robert Duvall is 93. And these people, the following people, no longer with us. Dancer choreography, the late Alvin Ailey would have been 93. R&B singer Wilbur Harrison did Kansas City, Here I Come. He would have been 95. American politician Walter Mondale would have been 95. And record producer Sam Phillips, he produced and recorded with Elvis Presley. He would have been 101 years old. Actress Jane Wyman would have been 107 years old. Actor George Reeves, the original TV Superman, he would have been 110. And psychic Jean Dixon. Remember Jean Dixon? Every New Year's, she used to predict things for the upcoming year. She would have been 120 years old. So that's it in entertainment. So there you go. Now, for those of you who, and I always ask you guys, if you would pretty please, if you want to indulge in conversation, give us your weather forecast, that's okay. And if you don't indulge, that's okay too. But, you can contact me still. You want to do a private thing, you want to get it on, you and me, you can contact me, right? You can email me. I have an email address and a telephone number as well. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you my email address first so you can get that going, right? Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Spell the last name correctly, please, because if you don't, you'll never get through. It's Allan, Prod, Prod. That's short for productions. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. It's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. remember that if you want to get in contact with me, it's easy to do. It's no problem. And you can contact me for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. You could, if you just want to say hi, don't think that you're wasting my time. I would love to hear from you. If you want to critique the show, which is good, because I'm open ears about that, especially. And, I encourage, for any opinions that you may have, because I am not thin skinned at all. As a matter of fact, I'm totally thick skinned. So, and as long as you're diplomatic about it, you can critique the show and say, hey, you know something, maybe you can do something about this or do something about that. And we listen to you, and because we want to make everything better. We want to do the best that we can for this upcoming year. Or if you may have a suggestion on the show, or maybe you say, hey, maybe you should interview some people on the show. Every once in a blue moon, I do that. And I give them a 10-minute spot on the show or something like that. Maybe you might see more of that. Or maybe you're out there watching, something. He's a good platform to have where I can go on his show and, promote my group. I have a singing group, and that's good, and we want to get it out there. And I want to come on the show and talk about it. You didn't ask, and if you don't ask, you don't get. And I will entertain that thought too. So there's so many things that you can contact me for, but keep all of that information wherever you are. Keep it in your Rolodex. What am I, Rolodex? No one uses a Rolodex anymore, right? I still have my old Rolodex. And for what? All right. But everything goes into the telephone, right? No matter what you do, what you say, it's all in the telephone. You can do anything in that telephone. And you can put that away, but keep that information for you for whenever you think you might need it. And you can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We never sleep, only on the weekends. But nevertheless, you can get in contact with us with any time. So let me give you that email address once again, frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. And the telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now, 2024 is a year, it's going to be a trying year for all of us. I mentioned that early, and we like to make the best out of it. But, this year, people are sitting on needles and pins right now, waiting for that big day, that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day 2024. And people are waiting for that. And there's going to be a lot that's going to be happening before that. So we want to jump ahead of ourselves. We're only talking about 10 months away. All right, we're in the brand new year right now. We're talking about 10 months away. In the meantime, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be happening in the news, a lot of things that you're going to see on TV that you may not like. And of course, we have a guy that wants to run for president and be a dictator because he worshiped these kind of people. And of course, that would be up to you whether or not you want to put that guy in there or not. And this guy that I'm talking about is Donald J. Trumpmore. Now, Donald J. Trumpmore, we already know about his plans. Now, you got to give it to him. This time around, he's actually putting an agenda out there where when he was doing 2020 or 2015, when he was going out for that, he had no agenda at all. No one knew what he was going to do. He didn't know what he was going to do, but he has an agenda this year. Whether we like it or not, it's there. And we already know what he wants to do. So now you have to think, what am I going to do? Got to vote this guy out, or do I want another 4 years of this? All right. When you go to the vote, I never tell people what to do as far as their voting rights are. I never say, vote for this guy, vote for that guy. But listen, I can tell you this: if you want democracy to continue, okay, you know who to vote for. If you want the leader of a dictatorship, then you know who to vote for. Now, there are a lot of people that don't want to vote for either one of them. And you know, the thing that frightens me more than what's about to come right now is that when that day comes, when election day comes, there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to vote. That's the thing that wakes me up in the middle of the night. And the reason why that bothers me is because when you don't vote, now there's a vote for the guy, for the dictator, you know, and you don't want that. Now, I look at the young people, young people are watching me right now. I look at the young people in the United States and I just say to them, look, you guys are smart. I know you guys are looking at this. And these politicians are not setting a good example for you. I understand that. But I want you to understand something. You got to go out there, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, independent, or whatever it is that you consider yourself to be. You want to go out there and vote. Don't sit home. This is not the time to sit home, you know. And I'll be saying this right throughout the months coming on, next month's coming along, because that'll bring us that much closer to election day. And so I'll just keep reminding you, you know, that this is the time that we really have to think about 2024. You know, we never thought it would come this quick. And we never thought that we would ever be in this state of turmoil that we're in right now. Never thought. Whoever thought? And we thought back in the 1950s and the 1960s, those were some rugged times when we had the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and the assassination of Robert Kennedy and the assassination of Malcolm X in 1965 and all of these things that happened, and we thought it was the end of the world. And there were tough times though. There really were tough times. I'm not taking away from it. And then you had the Watergate thing. And which by the way, Nixon, he doesn't have to worry about being the creep that he was. I mean, he was still a creep, but he doesn't have to worry about being the supreme creep anymore because someone beat you out, you know. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know, of the voting age, might add, is that use your right to vote. This is not the time to stay home at this particular point. So think about it. And some people, when they go out to vote, I've heard people say they're going to write in a name. They're not going to vote for either person, you know. And so now we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice at all. You notice that, right? You got Biden, and that's all you're going to get. You got Biden and Trump more. That's all you're going to get. Biden and Trump more. And so you're going to have to decide from there on if you're going to vote. So keep that in mind, and I'll keep nailing it. I'll keep driving it home as the months go on until we get to that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day. I'll keep driving it home. That's what I'll keep doing. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to be with you till the top of the hour. But before we go, I want to tell you about those movies. And I have those movies for you, right? Are you still listening to me? You're not putting me down, are you? Okay. I have those movies for you. Now, what I do each week, I have my picks of the week of movies that I think you may like or may want to watch, right? Because especially for New Yorkers, we're not going to have that good weather. So you might want to stay home and chew on some snacks, put some popcorn in a microwave and catch up on some old movies. Well, I'm going to add some movies to your list that you may have. So I want to get started with that right now. Let's start off right now. Going to 1960. This is a movie called The Apartment, starring Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray all together. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's happening Friday. We're in Friday mode right now. So that's tonight, Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Everything I'll give you is Eastern, so you know how to act accordingly. 10 p.m. Eastern, that's The Apartment, Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray. I love that movie. It's a black and white. It's a classic. I think you'll like it too. Then we have A Sunday in New York. Now, this is a color movie back in 1963, starring Cliff Robinson, Jane Fonda, and Rod Taylor. and it's a comedy. It's sort of like a comedy. And it's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that Saturday. It's 2 a.m. Eastern. Now, okay, you're not up at 2 a.m. Some people are. And if you're one of the ones that don't hang out that late, you can DVR it. There's no excuse. You can DVR it and watch it at a later date. And so, as you can do with all of these movies that you come across. And so you can do that then. But it's at 2 a.m., 2 a.m. That's Saturday morning at 2 a.m. And then you have Eddie and the Cruisers. Now, I like rock and roll. I like rock and roll. I like all kinds of music. I like soul music, rock and roll. I was raised up on jazz and soul music and all of those great movies and all of those great jazz pieces, those old jazz pieces, right? I was raised up on all that. Eddie and the Cruisers, this is kind of a rock and roll kind of thing. 1983. Now, I don't get to see this movie too often. It doesn't come on too often, but this is a good chance for you to watch it. It's by Tom Berenger, actor Tom Berenger and Ellen Barkin, and that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can see that this coming Sunday, 4 a.m. I'm not up at 4 a.m. I know. DVR it, right? 4 a.m. That's Eddie and the Cruisers. Now, I want to add too that when you go on, you're on your cable if you have cable. A lot of people don't have cable anymore. But if you're one of the ones that are still paying for cable, of course, you can go on demand and watch some of these old movies. Now, for instance, why don't you go later on and go to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide and scroll through that, because you may see movies that I didn't mention. And it's not because I don't like them, it's because these are only my picks of the week. They may be others that you may be interested, that may jog your memory, say, hey, you know something? I like that movie, I'm gonna watch it. I am either gonna DVR it and watch it in real time, but it's there for you to watch. And while you're at it, when you go on demand, go there and go through the demand, movie on demand, and watch. There's a lot of great free movies from the past that you can watch too. I can't name them all. They're listed from A to Z. They're right there. You just have to go through and find out what you like. Also, you can go on demand and go pay-per-view movies. You can do that. There are movies that are in the theater now that you can watch in the comfort of your own home. You have to pay a little more, but it beats paying in the theater, because in the theater, what is it now? 16, 17, maybe 20 bucks by now. I don't know, to get into the movie. And that's not including your popcorn and your peanuts and your Cracker Jacks, right? I remember when movies were 50 cents a pop. That was the old days. I was a kid then. Anyway, you have those movies, and then you have the movies that were once in the theater not too long ago, and they're there. You pay a little less for that. That's pay-per-view movies. And then you have a lot of great sporting events, children's programs, documentaries, and all sorts of things. Sporting events. I mentioned sporting events. I like sporting events, of course, and I also like wrestling, which I consider a sporting event. And if I miss a wrestling match, I could always go the following day on demand and watch it then. And in some cases, without the commercial interruptions. Some cases, not all the time. You know, you can go there and watch them. And then I get a chance to see that whatever I missed. So that's the good thing about technology today. They give us an opportunity to do it twice. If you miss it once, you do it again, go on demand and check it out. All right, and all of that's for you. All you have to do is just apply yourself and do it. So let me give you those movies once again. The Apartment, Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Fred McMurray, they're all together in that movie, and that's on Turner Classic Movies Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's tonight. Get ready for it. Sunday in New York, Cliff Robinson, Jane Fonda, and Rod Taylor. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 4 a.m. Eastern. And Eddie and the Cruisers, Tom Berenger and Ellen Barkin. That's Turner Classic Movies Sunday at 4 a.m. Eastern. All of these movies are there for your liking. I hope you enjoy them and get out there and enjoy it. And right now, my weekend is officially underway. I have to leave you, but I am going to come back next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live Brian Camp will be along with me, and he'll bring you the latest developments in today's world of sports. I hope you will be here too. And then you can meet me back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. I don't know if Brian Camp is going to be here for that. I doubt it. But whatever it is, we will work it out. But I hope you'll be here for that. And that's all coming next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this time I want to wish you all a happy new year and welcome to the light of 2024. Make it a good new year. In the meantime, have a great day, a great weekend, and I will see you all back here next week. Take care.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.